Welcome to the Fantasy Football Garage. I'm Chris. My friends call me the Candyman, and you already know what time it is tonight. We're drafting best ball teams. We're going to rip some best ball manias. We're going to look at what other tournaments are still open and going on. I honestly don't even know if the Husky 2 is still open. If it is, maybe we rip one of those too. But it's Sunday night. We're feeling good. It's been a great weekend. Hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for tuning in and watching. Make sure you hit that like on your way in and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I have a goal to hit 500 subs by the time of the first NFL game, that opening Thursday night game. It's the Cowboys versus the Eagles. And I'm hoping to get to 500 subs by that point. Very close. But if you could help me get there, I would greatly appreciate it. We're going to be drafting best ball teams all the rest of August. We've been drafting all summer. We're over 500 drafts deep at this point. High stakes, redraft, dynasty startups, dynasty rookie, but of course, best ball drafts. We've done it all. We've seen it all. And we're not done yet. So come jump in the chat. Say what up. Let's draft some teams together. And I'll catch you on the other side of this intro. Let's get it. But overall, it's like the guy can ball. Like, actions speak louder than words. How we doing? What's up, everyone? Happy Sunday. Hope you're doing good. I just jumped into a 20-second best ball mania, and I think it filled. It did fill. Perfect timing. I want to look to the lobby and see what other NFL contests are even open. Big Dog's getting pretty close. I don't think I'm going to do any Big Dogs. The Great Dane 2 is impossible to fill. I know BBG did one earlier today. The Husky 2 is gone. So it's best ball manias, sprints, marathons, maybe a puppy 3, maybe a Great Dane 2. Probably not. Too hard to fill. But maybe do one of those later this week. I had a redraft on Sleeper tonight for a 12-man PPR league. I just wrapped up that draft. I think it went pretty well. I'll review my team shortly. Y'all can let me know in the chat what you guys think of my PPR redraft team that I got into. But first, Billy, my man, what's up, brother? Hope you're having a great Sunday. Bad on real time. Hashtag QBs matter. I'll never forget it. We got my main man, Nick Bach, in here. Ja'Cory just went 97. I just took Ja'Cory as the last pick in my redraft league that I did, co-managing it with my brother, and we took Ja'Cory, whatever it was, 150 or so, and then it had to be kickers and defense after that. But he's going late, and some people still are not catching on. Also, winning the flex. What's up, brother? Okay, here's the team I drafted. Co-managing it with my brother. 12-team PPR redraft, right, on Sleeper, which the Sleeper ADPs, I've never seen worse ADP. That's a lie. Go to ESPN. But they're terrible. So the team we drafted, we started off from the 12 spot. We took Neighbors and Brian Thomas. Then we came back around and took Omarion Hampton and Kamara. We followed that up with Harvey and Pearsall. Then we took Hawkinson and Egbuka. We went Dak and Tootin, and then our last pick was Ja'Cory. Oh, we had T-Mac in there. I forgot to mention Teteroy McMillan was in there somewhere. And then our last pick was Bill Krosky. I go Monra here. Somehow I don't have a Monra Genti. Oh, is that? Yeah, just Best Ball Manias. I don't have a Monra Derrick Henry, but that's kind of makes sense. I don't have a Monra Bucky, which is a fun one. Genty goes, it's like whatever. I only have him with Drake London once, but Brian Thomas to me is still my highest, the player I want the most right here. Do I just start to get different with my final? I'm not going to get too different. I'm going to keep going with Brian Thomas. I've done it before. I'll do it again. I still have 34 best ball manias, so I'm not going to get too different right now, but probably would want some Amon Ra matched up with one of Ashton Genty or Bucky Irving before the close. I'm only going to have so many more Amon Ra teams, so I'm starting to think about those things, the unique combinations, my exposures, 100%. Let's see. Yeah, Chase Brown's getting pulled up. So people do certain different things as it gets closer to the close of Best Ball Mania. Just wrap my main league in sleeper 2 from the 12 spot. Nice. Nice, Nick. That's fun. Yeah, my home league, our draft isn't until Labor Day, and it's an auction. So it goes about 6 hours long in our draft. It's super flex, half point PPR, 2 running backs, 3 receivers, a flex spot, and then, of course, the super flex. No kicker, no defense. Pretty fun. Pretty fun format to do auction that way. Keeps it different. You can get any guy you want. You can build stars and studs. You can just scoop up the value, save your whole budget until everyone else is spent. I typically go stars and studs. It's a 10-team league, so I like to get an elite QB as well. I took Josh Allen last year. My biggest fault was I hero RB'd it with Breece Hall, and then he was not a hero RB. So that was kind of lame. I'm typically, and it's funny, in my redraft home league, I'm always like 1 year ahead. 2 years ago, my roster was Bajan, Brees, and who else did I have on that team? Achan. 2 years ago, and that didn't win. Wasn't enough, and now it's pretty much near impossible to get that combo. In budget, you could technically do it, but you'd be behind in Superflex especially. Picks 35, 38 coming up. So with the Monra, I've got a bunch of Devontae Adams. I could use a little Kittle. I could do some Worthy. I think I'll go Worthy first, and then I have the choice of like Adams, Evans, Kittle, T-Mac. James Cook goes. A little bit with Kittle, a bunch with these other guys. Brian Thomas, a little bit with Kittle. No Devontae Adams, so that's actually interesting. And then Xavier Worthy, no Mike Evans, but a lot more Kittle. No Hurts there. No Hurts there. No Hurts there. So I don't have him with Hurts. I'm going to pull Hurts up on this team. I don't have any of those receivers with Hurts and Best Ball Mania. It seems like a gap in my combinations for sure. Kind of a fun way to start. Receiver heavy, get the elite QB, and we'll have to make up some ground at running back, of course. But I didn't get Genty, didn't get Achan. So from like the 11-12 spot, typically I do start wide receiver heavy over here and running back heavy on the other side of the board. Who do you guys think is the better rookie wide receiver pick at value, Golden or Emeka Egbuka? We've seen Egbuka been rising. Sometimes you can get I mean, we were getting him after Golden for a long while there. Now he's ahead of Golden. It's kind of a toss up for me. I got a lot of exposure to both of them. Before Egbuka was rising, I was like 15% Egbuka. I think I'm now down to like 13%. And then Golden, I'm up there at like 18% Golden. So I've got a bunch of him too. One guy I've been slightly fading recently is Breece Hall. I've been not clicking him as much. I think I still have him ranked ahead of Ken Walker, but it's kind of a toss up there for me. Let me turn the tunes on, get it going. We're ripping this best ball mania. I've done a few today. I did a underdog cardio club at the gym earlier. I drafted 2 best ball manias this morning. So we're getting our volume in. I've got like 35 left to go. We've got 2 weeks, essentially 2 weeks till the start of the NFL season. We're off. 5. Yeah. Right is going to go there. I didn't think there's any chance Devonta Smith would come back around, but it would have been really nice. Probably the only receiver I would pivot towards. Man, James Conner. He would have been real nice too. Let's see which running backs can make it back to me here. I've seen Hubbard slightly falling. I think it's interesting. No, Kamara goes. I'll take Harvey. Hurts Harvey, and I got the Worthy mini. Probably take one. I probably won't go Mahomes on this one, obviously, but Goff or Lawrence, I think, is a nice combo with Hurts. Here we go. Perfect. It matches the thumbnail. I can either take one of these guys or I can pull up Pacheco. And I'm going to get crazy here. I'm going to pull up Pacheco because to me, it's like a big break in the tier for running backs. I don't know who's going to come back around, and I need that RB2. Plus, it's super correlated with Worthy and Harvey. So I'll pull Pacheco up there. I like Pacheco. I think he's the top of my tier that starts with like him and then goes on to Pollard and Swift. But for me, I typically like to have 3 running backs at the end of that tier, and I've only got 2 here. I made the detour for Hurts. I started off strong with Worthy over Cook. So I'm going to stick with those top 3 wideouts that I had. If Travis Hunter was there, I would have considered him too for like the double Jags receiver stack. Would have been pretty cool to do, fun to do. But I'll definitely pull up Pacheco. He's looking healthy. It's looking good. He could just dominate touches in that Chiefs backfield. I'm not worried about Brashard Smith taking over in the passing game. I think Pacheco still gets it done in the passing game. And then Kareem Hunt is like a true handcuff. Mahomes went early in this one anyways. Mahomes picked 75, 76. So not going to be a Mahomes team for me. Ooh, Pollard almost came back around. Montgomery, I guess, I would still be interested in. Mason might be worth taking as the my RB3. He goes. Hawkinson's interesting. I could take Reed. He shed the walking boot. Shakir is also interesting for the correlation week 17. I'm gonna go Montgomery there. Team stacked with Amon-Ra, and then either Hawk or Reed because Shakir did go. Probably I can get one of these guys. Worst case scenario, when I capitulate and take Aaron Jones. I don't know if I could do that. Reed's good. Reed's interesting. I'd probably still go Hawk here over Reed. But it's close, so whichever one I can get. I'll take Hawkinson, and then I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna take my phone with me in case, for worst case scenario, I have to make a pick, but I'll be back in like 1 second. I gotta go help with something real quick. What'd I miss? What'd I miss? Oh, I should have really scrolled down the board. Okay. Interesting situation, but we're good. The kids, they wake up sometimes. Whew. We're back. We're back. I made the picks from my phone, so I went Montgomery, Hawkinson, and I went Charbonnet and Goff. Got Goff with the Monroe and David Montgomery, so that was cool. I went Mims, who came back around to me, and then Goddard for my stack. So, through 12 rounds, I have a 2-4-4-2, very balanced build. Hurts, Goff, Harvey, Pacheco, Montgomery, Charbonnet, Amon-Ra, Brian Thomas, Xavier Worthy, Marvin Mims, Hawkinson, and Goddard. So super correlated so far and very balanced. Feeling good. Yo, what up, Chris B? Sorry I missed you. Just had to help with the kids for a minute there. Hey, appreciate the kind words. Always, man. Yo, what up, Tyler? How we doing? Feeling good. It's Sunday night. It's been a nice weekend. Whoa, Bill Krosky Merritt 151. Nick Bach was not joking, ladies and gentlemen. That's steam right there. And then Blue 153. So before Blue, that's the first time I've ever seen him taken before Blue, and the first time I've seen Bill go in the top 13 rounds. All right. We got some work to do here. We need some receivers. I don't think a lot of Cedric Tillman, but it could be the place to do it. I think I might go running back first, though, with Algier and really push it. Michael Penix is there. I'm just going to scoop up Michael Penix falling. Nope, I got Algier. I must have not moved it fast enough. Let's see what he does. I kind of need a receiver, too, so I don't... I'm cool, though. I've got a good 3. Marvin Mims, bring back a little bit of ADP value. But Michael Penix falling is even worth it. I think it kind of feels like it's worth it. I'm on the clock. He does take Michael Penix, so whatever. I still wanted Algier at least. Cedric Tillman. Do I follow my gut and go with Dante Thornton? I'm going to take some Dante Thornton. I had way more Tillman. I'm not even that stoked on Tillman or the Browns in general. So let me get Thornton, who at least plays the Eagles in week 15. And seems like he's kind of one of these, breakout rookie candidates at wide receiver. I think he fits this team just fine. How you doing tonight, Tyler? Hope your weekend is going good, my man. Yeah, Chris. So the poll for tonight, and Chris is getting right into it, which is great. But I was asking, it's on the thumbnail, it's the poll in the YouTube chat. So come vote, smash the like button, and tell me who you think is the better pick at value. I mean, it used to be Golden went first, then Egbuka. Now Egbuka's flipped him. But at ADP, all things considered, do you like selecting Emeka Egbuka or Matthew Golden in fantasy football? Whether it's best ball, redraft, whatever you have going on for 2025. Chris says he likes Egbuka, a little bit of a stronger prospect, and maybe a higher powered offense. And then maybe Golden some risk reward with explosive plays. I could not agree more. I think that's very fair. Yeah, Emeka should be immediate impact, maybe a higher floor, more predictable. I think that's very well summarized. Kind of how I feel about it too. I like both guys a lot. Woody Marks and Kyle Monangai going in round 14-15 turn. It is get your guy season. I reached up on Thornton. I mean, pretty much after round 13 these days, it is open season for making whatever pick you want. Okonkwo goes 172. That's about as high as he goes. Sometimes he goes. I've actually seen him go in the 50s, but that's about as high as he goes. Let's go to the bestballoverlay.com and do the ADP risers Judkins, Keenan Allen, Torrey Horton, Okonkwo, Coker, the Fallers, the same names we've seen for a few days now. I have a 2-5-5-2 build. Probably going to be a 2-6-8-2 or a 2-7-7-2, something like very balanced. I feel good about my tight ends. Could be done with that. I might want some more depth at running back. Back on the clock. I could take a Will Shipley here. Easy money, easy click. And I'm going to prioritize going with the running back ahead of the drafter in the 12 spot. He makes the turn pick because he's only got 3 running backs. He anchored down with Genty and Achan. So he's looking for something late, and he doesn't need a receiver. He's got 7. I'd be surprised if he doesn't take a tight end here and a running back. Ertz is interesting. I don't think I need Ertz, though. Yeah, he goes Dowdle. He goes Garendo. Double running back. Thielen, Pierce. Could do Wandale's a little bit different of a pick for me. Pull up Adonai Mitchell. I kind of like the Ertz pick there if I was going to go 3 tight end. But I don't think I will. I think I'm going to stop with 2. So probably, almost certainly, and I could have done Richardson there. But almost certainly I have Hurts and Goff. Going to stop with those 2, my 2 tight ends. And then I can just fill these next 2 draft selections with, they're both kind of luxury picks. Whatever, either 2 receivers or a running back and a receiver. It's a best ball mania. It's number, I don't know, like 115 or so. I'm getting close to having about 30 left, which is right where I want to be because it's almost 75% filled. Let's check that. Hey, Russ Wilson goes in round 16. Someone's been doing some research. Although it's a 4 QB build, so it's a little bit of an interesting choice. You probably could have pushed him anyways, but 4 QBs, it happens sometimes. It is August, 73% filled. My team so far is Amon-Ra, Brian Thomas, Worthy, Hurts, Harvey, Pacheco, Montgomery, Hawkinson, Charbonnet, Goff. So I have Goff with Montgomery and Amon-Ra to bring back with Hawkinson. Mims Jr. So I've got him with Harvey, and I've got a mini correlation set up with Pacheco and Xavier Worthy. I have Goddard stacked with Hurts, and then just some picks that I like. Algier, Falcons have a good offense. Thornton seemed like an explosive rookie. Shipley, say less. And Adonai Mitchell, who's getting a ton of good buzz out of camp. And a guy we think is super talented. Can he get some opportunity? Josh Downs going to miss time with the hamstring. We'll see. Is Alec Pierce going to miss time with his groin? Is that going to linger? Can Adonai Mitchell hit the field more than he did last year? Earn some more targets, actually score touchdowns this time around. I hope so. Eddie, what up, brother? I have never drafted on DK. I don't have a DK account set up, so I don't bet on sports. Sports gambling is illegal in Texas, so I don't do it naturally. So I'm not already on DK. And then for me to get over there for best ball, it's like I've thought about it for a couple of years now, and I just underdog has plenty of contests to do. So this is where I've been. Tesla goes. Bummer for me. Probably would have considered that. And then here, Alec is interesting. I could do it with Troy Franklin, who I don't have a lot of. Apparently, I haven't taken any Alec, so I might do that one. Tight end, Otten is still there. Running backs. Let's just pick one. I'll go ahead and take some Alec Ayomanor. I know they're trying to get him the ball and improve the chemistry he's got with Cam Ward. Do I need one more running back? I think I could. It could be a 2-7-7-2 build. Got some lag there. DJ Giddens or Corum. Hunter. Last second Hunter. I think I got it. A little bit of lag on that one. Got Mim, so I guess Franklin didn't seem like a great bet. Tons of depth at running back. Threw Hunter in there. Could be a league winner. Could be nothing. But he does play on Monday Night Football in Week 17 in Atlanta. The last game of the last week of Ball Mania. So that counts for something too. And also plays against Algier. So I've got 2 guys in that game. Little mini correlation there. Who knows? Maybe Bajan and Kyron are resting. Maybe they're on the, not in the game, not playing all the snaps. Maybe it's just a good day for those guys. I would have taken Tesla on this team, but I don't have to. Obviously, I have a Monroe, David Montgomery, so I'm pretty good with my team bet on the Lions. I like Aomanar just was like a fun click, and he does play the Chiefs in Week 16. So a little bit going on there. But a rookie, I just realized I hadn't drafted him in Ball Mania. I feel like I did put him on a Cam Ward team, but maybe that was a Husky. Probably was a Husky too this week or something else, because I feel like I just recently did that. I've been waiting. Earlier this week, don't do DFS. Yeah, I actually have not done DFS either, so that would be new for me. But I'm curious about it. I've been watching guys like Neil Orfield do DFS content and others, but I have not gotten into it as much. Usually during the season, I'm pretty active managing my redraft leagues and then just chilling, watching the games. And I draft really hard in the summer. So, but we'll see. We'll see how everything goes. If I want to do some more DFS this year, get into it. What else? Trevor Etienne getting some a good showing in his preseason game, and kind of some good coach speak on him. I don't have any Buffalo pieces on this team. I think that's fine. It's not really a huge bet for Week 17 with Hurts and Goddard. It's more of a season-long bet. And then Goff is the guy I'm leaning into in Week 17, which I think is an even better matchup. Plus, I've got minis with the Chiefs and the Broncos, the Rams, and the Falcons, the Jags, and Colts. So a lot of games stacked up. Fun squad. Let me check my DMs real quick. Okay, we're good. I think so too, Chris. And I think he's in a good situation. How much more the Packers pass this year versus last year is still to be determined. One thing, let me bring up the team comp. Let me zoom out. Why is it so zoomed in? So this is the Lions. Let me go to the Packers. Green Bay Packers. Number 8 in points per game last season with 27.1. They were 10th in passing touchdowns with 28. Only had 18 pass completions per game, so pretty low volume. That's 30th in the league, but they were highly efficient, right? Because 16th in receiving yards. They were 5th in rushing attempts, 5th in rushing yards, 5th in rushing touchdowns. So they did run the ball a ton last season, which is why Josh Jacobs did so well. Now Golden is there. I think they'll throw it a little bit more. We saw Jordan Love start the season with the early injury, the ankle injury, and that kind of hampered his ability a little bit, and he missed a game. But he's already hurt his thumb, so that's not great. It's his non-throwing hand. It should be fine. Do they throw? Do they air it out more? And Golden's going to be on the field, I think, the most of all of the wide receivers. Like, naturally, he should be. So I think the offense in the passing game consolidates around Golden and Kraft. And then whether it's Reed or Dubs next, it's kind of that's up in the air. And then Josh Jacobs consolidates the run game a ton. But they like using Wilson a little bit. They like using Chris Brooks more than none. It's Marshawn Lloyd who can't stay healthy and get on the field is kind of his issue. And he's injured again, so not super surprising. I entered into another Best Ball Mania draft, and I'm picking from the 1 spot. So let's get this one going and see what happens with this Ja'Marr Chase team. I needed some more Ja'Marr Chase. I'm going to refresh. I've only got 8%. So, yeah, definitely want more than that in Best Ball Mania. 9 Ja'Marr Chase teams. If I look at the QBs that I have him with, never with Allen, never with Lamar. Maybe we can change that. I don't have him with Daniels. I don't have him with Hurts. I have him with Burrow a third of the time. And I feel like I would definitely want more than that. I have him with Jordan Love 55% of the time. So that is an unhealthy amount. So I'm going to be not preferencing Jordan Love as much on this one. And then for running backs, I have him with Bucky, JT, Chase Brown, and then Josh Jacobs, Hampton, all pretty much equally. A little bit lower on JT. The early wide receivers that I've paired him with, it's T a third of the time, Marvin Harrison, Devontae Adams, Tyreek, even McLaurin. A bunch with George Pickens, naturally. And then the tight ends, McBride a third of the time. So I'm not going to force too much here. Obviously, I would like to get him with Burrow, and I might even take Burrow if available, I might even take Burrow at the 4-5 turn and just get more Burrow Ja'Marr Chase stacks. Because I've only done it a third of the time. That's 3 teams. I think I need more Burrow Chase teams, and risking it just to switch out a 5th round player for a 6th round player, to me, is not necessarily worth it all the time. Yo, what up, Quincy? For Terry McLaurin, I think yes. I think yes. This season, he just had a career year with the Commanders, right? So, I think it'll work out. But Deebo's there now. Deebo Samuel is good at scoring touchdowns, and they can use him in the short intermediate routes, get that yak. If Terry McLaurin just had a career year with 16 touchdowns, including the playoffs, 13 in the regular season, with Jaden Daniels in year 1, imagine what Deebo can do there too, touchdown-wise. It could be really nice for Deebo. So I've kind of come back around on Deebo. I just want pieces of the Commanders' offense. They even improved their offensive line with getting Laramie Tunsil. So year 2, Jaden Daniels could be really exciting, and I want pieces of that. So McLaurin's been falling. I mean, he went from all the way in like the middle of the 3rd round. Now he's going the middle to later half of the 4th round in these best ball tournaments. But I think not a terrible pick. People would point to like touchdown regression, and now we're an expensive Terry McLaurin, but it's a pretty flat tier in that range for wide receiver as it is. The question to me is like, do you want a running back in that range versus Terry McLaurin? So yeah, good question. Who do I think will have a better year, Waddle or McLaurin? Definitely, I would lean McLaurin. I think ADP kind of points to that. We've seen Waddle have some great years in the past, though. So, year in, year out, a lot of things can change. Healthy Tua peak Waddle season is probably very competitive with like peak McLaurin season outcome. So they're pretty close. That's why I think it's a big flat tier in that range. All the way from McLaurin to Waddle, it's like very similar outcomes for wide receivers. Lad McConkey does not fall to me. Big bummer on that one. T. Higgins goes, so I might get a little bit. Might do something different here. I'll go ahead and get the Josh Jacobs, who like I was saying, I believe in the Packers a lot. And then do I want to go Lamar Jackson on this one or Josh Allen? Let me build out a Lamar Jackson team with Chase. They play each other in week 15, and then Lamar Jackson plays Josh Jacobs in week 17. And for some reason in Ball Mania, I didn't have Lamar Jackson with Jamar Chase. I feel like I need to do that. I've definitely done it in the big board. I've done it in other tournaments. Let me check that one off. And I like getting a running back there. I like staying even. So would have been nice if Bucky made it back there. If McConkey was there, I would have taken him. If T was there, it's a different conversation around if I'm going to make another double stacked Bengals team. But now I'm not going to be selecting Burrow. So it's going to be 30% of my Jamar Chase Ball Mania teams, because I've got 10 of them now, 30% with Burrow. So pretty much here on out, it's either Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, or Joe Burrow with Chase every time is what I need to prioritize. So making a mental note that next time I draft Chase, probably just take Burrow at 48 or 49. Or do it, yeah, and then maybe get out one with Allen first, and then just all the rest with Burrow. Shout out to bestballoverlay.com. You guys already know you can get 25% off your premium subscription with code GARAGE when you sign up on Best Ball Overlay. That's why I'm using this combo tool, and the exposures and everything you're seeing on the screen that's extra on this underdog draft is due to bestballoverlay.com. And so if you have any questions about how to use the tool or why I use it and why I like it so much, you can ask me in the chat. You can DM me on Twitter at FFBGarage. Follow me there. You'll know when I'm going live. Thanks for being here. Hope you're having a great Sunday night, everyone. Hope you're drafting some sick best ball teams. And redraft. It's redraft season 2. I had a redraft. I had a draft earlier tonight for a redraft league. 12-man PPR from the 12 spot. I think it went pretty well. Yeah, what's up, Dragon? Yeah, the trade rumors around Brian Robinson Jr. is that the Commanders are actively trying to trade him and trying to get interest from other teams. And it sounds like he might get traded as soon as tomorrow. So I just saw Jacory, a.k.a. Bill Krosky Merritt, go at pick 150 in the last Best Ball Mania draft. In my redraft league that I had tonight a draft for, I took my last pick before kickers and defenses, which I don't make the settings, and I'm co-managing it with my brother, so it's not in my control, but I would never have kickers and defenses in a league. But we took Krosky Merritt with our last pick, our 5th running back. Very shallow benches. So I think he's a target for sure. He was going in like round 13 now, which is crazy. But at that point, it's all a $1 auction bid on the draft capital curve. So get your guys season. It's August. It's getting towards it's middle of August. Get your guys. If you need some more Bill Krosky Merritt, put him on your team. Round 13, round 14. Get it done. Wow, Worthy at 45. Could be a McLaurin team for me. I have a lot of Harvey with Lamar Jackson. I don't have any DJ Moore, which is a kind of interesting one. And then with Chase, I don't have any Harvey. So I'm tempted here to go like just DJ Moore and Harvey. Been drafting a lot of Harvey lately. I'm buying in. I'll take him at pick 49 there. Pull him up ahead of Chuba. Alvin Kamara, even. Remember the turn, so you want to get a little different. You want to get your guys, like I was saying, and get some unique combinations. So a Josh Jacobs with Harvey, Jamar Chase, Lamar Jackson, DJ Moore. It's definitely a unique build for me in my portfolio of my best ball teams. Obviously, I took a pass on Zay Flowers there for DJ Moore. Probably could argue could have used Zay Flowers there. There's a 0% chance he comes back around, but I'll leave a light on for some other late stacking partners on the Ravens. And Burrow goes 53 here. So the drafter with T. Higgins, maybe he wasn't so focused on Joe Burrow, but not even close to coming back around in the 6th for this one. Yo, what's up, Eddie? I just saw your DMs. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. That could be fun for the season. Little crypto sports betting. Justin Herzig just tweeted out that Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt went pick 64 overall in one of his drafts. I don't know if it was a best ball mania. It probably could have been. He doesn't do a lot of low volume or low dollar drafts, and it was on a recent board tonight. So maybe he's out here drafting some BBMs. Wouldn't be too surprised. That's pretty egregious though, and hilarious at the same time. You know, it's even funnier, Eddie. I have buddies in my home league that do sports betting with like Bovada or like whatever else. I don't even know. And I don't know what they're doing. I know one of my buddies uses like a weird, sketchy site. And one time he had like $1,000 that he'd won on a sports bet, and then he couldn't get the money out. Go figure. So, oh my goodness, Zach Charbonnet going pick 62 in this one. I guess Ken Walker is dead. Derrick Henry, Brian Thomas, Kittle, Pickens, Hunter, Charbonnet before Alvin Kamara. Maybe he knows something we don't. I'm going to respond to, oh, what did I just do? I'm up on the clock. Pollard and Pacheco go, guys that I really would have liked to got here on this team, to have gotten. I think I'll start with Diggs, and now it comes down to what other players do I think fits this team. I could do Addison or Jennings. I could do Swift. Swift is like another bet on the Bears, so maybe I just do that. I don't think I overthought it there. I think that was kind of what I wanted to do. Chase, DJ Moore, Diggs, Swift, Harvey, an expensive Swift. Reached up for Harvey, Jacobs. Maybe it's DJ Moore and Swift that you want on the Bears this year, no one else. But Loveland, obviously. Generally. I was taking a lot of Luther Burden. I'm not liking what we're seeing now with Zacchaeus potentially taking over some of that target share and playing a lot of snaps. Yeah, what up, Hartman? AKA Sharpman, AKA my dog. Good stuff. Sharpman ripping some drafts earlier today, much earlier today, with the best ball guy who's doing his 12-hour marathon right now. And I'll be joining him shortly in a little bit. I need to check in to see where he's at. I think he's drafting with David right now, or maybe he's still drafting with Who Hames, and David's coming on soon. I'll be up next to wrap up the night with the best ball guy. Looking forward to that. He gets traded where to? Dallas or Chicago? And where are you taking if those are his landing spots? The Texans? Dallas? I don't know. I definitely, Kriyoth, I definitely don't think the Commanders are going to trade a running back within their own division to the Cowboys unless it just was such a sweet deal. But if it was a sweet deal, they wouldn't be spreading the rumor to try to stoke up the trade interest. Wow, Joe Burrow, Mahomes, Purdy, all taken for this team. Very interesting things going on here. Drafter in the 5 spot with 3 QBs and 4 running backs in his first 7 picks. And then the drafter in the 11 spot took Charbonnet at pick 62. Maybe it was a star method thing, so we can chalk it up to that. Maybe he was like, oh, I want Charbonnet later, and then boom, he gets hit with the star method. So yeah, I would think he goes to, and I don't really see the connection to Chicago. I would think he goes to, they have Roschon, unless Roschon's like hurt and something we don't know, and they need a backup, they need another 1-2 punch, maybe Chicago. But I think the Texans are the most obvious spot. And then they cut Chubb or something, that'd be weird. So yeah, I don't know how much his value changes. I feel like the Commanders are a decent spot for him to be in. But if he gets if he's going to be a running back 1 on another team, I'm just not sure. I have to think through it more. Almost back on the clock. I think we're safe. Yeah, Brian Robinson's falling. Maybe I can take advantage of this. It's not like he's going to die. He's going to play somewhere. Kind of could use another wide receiver, though, but it's dried up. I don't love the options. And then I don't really need another QB right now. So I might just take Brian Robinson, get the fall on him. Getting him at pick 97, which was kind of where he'd been falling to at some points earlier in the season, but he's consistently been going higher lately. So this is a nice little ADP fall for him. Just trying to think through, is there any other player I could possibly want here? Not really. So there it is. Brian Robinson Jr. pick 97. Either he's going to get toasted by Bill Krosky Merritt, and that was a bad pick, or he gets traded to a bad team, and that's a bad pick, or he stays exactly where he is, and he's still a fine pick. Hard to know, but 97 in a best ball mania, probably that's the latest I've gotten him in a long time. He seems like he fits this team nicely, where I've got 4 running backs now that I like, and just need to keep hammering wide receiver the rest of this draft. But we're in the wide receiver dead zone as it is. And if anything, I could have taken like a second tight end there, but What do you think, Kriyoth? What do you think? Harmon was saying... double down. It's not time to change. It's time to double down. If your exposures are bad this late in the game, you double down and you keep them bad, and then you just hope that you're right. Change. Best ball drafters never change. Houston, could be. It's unless the Mixon. So like this is what happened tomorrow. Wow, Robinson gets traded to the Texans for a 4th round pick. There's something about Mixon where he's not going to play this season. And then they still could play Chubb, but if Mixon's coming back, do they cut Chubb? Yeah, it's likely out. I don't know how much of that is real NFL stuff, though, if that is like a real thing or if that doesn't actually matter. I think it matters. I don't know. Caleb goes. I would have targeted him as my QB2 if he did come back around because I've already built out kind of like that bear stack. I could do May if he's there. Love. I think I've taken Love too much with Chase is what my exposures were saying. So I probably don't want to do that one. We'll see who's there. I could do a late QB type of play and just really lean on Lamar, which is probably what I should do since I pulled Lamar up to the 2-3 turn to go with Chase. Tootin, 113, that's different. Up in a few picks, pick 120. 1-4-3-1 build. I need to chill at running back for just a bit and hammer some wide receivers, it seems like. Super tempted to just double tap Love with Kraft. If the option's there, though, which neither of those is a wide receiver. Mooney this late? Is he just dead? This is the latest I could get Mooney, so this is something I might consider. Is it the new Judkins range? Do I get him again on this team? A 5th running back? Seems kind of crazy. Yo, what's up, Paul? How we doing? Doing good. Mims goes, Mooney goes, Kirk goes. All guys that I wanted. Get the fall on Evan Ingram. I already have Harvey, so I'm making another bet on the Broncos. And I do need to get a receiver here. So I need to figure out who that could be. It's ugly. I don't want Keenan Allen. Wow. I got toasted at wide receiver. I'm going to have to go Judkins here. And then say a prayer for the wide receiver room. If Judkins never plays, he's my running back 5. It's a dead roster spot, and I'm not going to worry about it. If he plays, I'm hopeful that talent wins out. Ingram and Andrews, probably done with those 2 tight ends, and I got the correlation there with RJ Harvey. It's a team stack on the Broncos. Harvey, Ingram, big pieces of their new 2025 offense. I think it makes sense. They didn't use running back effectively last season. They didn't use tight end effectively last season. Let's change it. Maybe I have both of the jokers for Sean Payton's 2025 Broncos offense. Maybe it's a 2-joker offense. Have you thought about that? I'm going to push QB since I have Lamar, and now I have a sick running back room. But my wide receivers, it can't actually be that bad when you have Jamar Chase, right? But I have DJ Moore. I have Stephon Diggs. Some older veteran wide receiver 1s. I need to hammer. There's going to be like a 2-5-9-2 classic build that I have done so many times this season, but probably don't actually want the 9th receiver just because I have Chase. So it's really going to be, can I land some upside picks here and there? Maybe take a 6 running back, or Maybe a third tight end could make sense depending on what kind of back stacks I do with the late QB options. So yeah, maybe Brian Robinson goes to Houston in this one. Oh my goodness. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, pick 134. People are trying to read the tea leaves. I got to just check to make sure a trade hasn't happened already. Burden had a good night. Burden still at his ADP, though. Zacchaeus had a good night, too. He had a touchdown. I think Zacchaeus is draftable, but a lot of people don't think so. I have not been drafting him in Ball Mania yet, but I moved him up in my ranks to like where I could be drafting him, and I thought about doing it once. So that counts for something. Oh, Goff at 138 is so egregious. Can't believe that happened. If he came back to 144, I would have been really happy. And he goes to a team that didn't have a quarterback either. Penix goes right before my pick, but what I'll do is I'll take Herbert, and then do I take him with Trey Harris here? Trey Harris has been falling, but I think stacked up, it makes some sense, and it's kind of it's a bet on that offense that I'd want to have. I know Trey Harris has been falling a lot, and you can get him much later, but I'll take him there because I just got the falling Herbert, and I want that stack. I needed receiver anyways, and Palmer, Dobbs, Douglas all gone. To me, it would have been someone like Kyle Williams or Trey Harris. So I think I did it right. And then we already know Brian Robinson's going to the Texans, according to our prediction that we made in the chat, with no complete speculation and no confirmable sources. But if that does happen, I have a natural little bring back, so that's kind of fun. Trey Harris, a wide receiver 4. Yikes. What happened here? At the same time, this running back room is wild. Maybe instead of Swift, I could have pushed it, and then that's where at pick 73, I should have grabbed someone like Jennings or Addison. I think we'll be okay. I've got some late round favorites at wide receiver. We can scoop some up at the 14-15 turn and get some depth at the position. Now that I have a falling Herbert at 144 to go with Lamar Jackson, I'm feeling really good about QB. I'm feeling good about tight end and running back. It's the receiver room we got to do some work on, but I still have Jamar Chase. Ooh, 49ers for Brian Robinson. Wouldn't that actually be terrible for him, though? That'd be really bad for him, right? He just wouldn't play enough snaps. He'd be more of a contingent play at that point. He doesn't catch passes as much, as effectively. But with the injuries, you're right. Like maybe they use a body. Interesting. But then his contingent upside value is actually pretty good, so it could still pay off. Yeah. Oh, BBG's got Huhames, Steve, and Lumsky on right now. Funny. So I'll be ready when he's ready. True. I mean, JCM's already skyrocketing. He went at pick 134 in this draft, and he went and pick 65 in a Herzig draft tonight. If you saw on Twitter. I don't have too much B-Rob, but I have some. But if he gets traded, he could end up somewhere good. Robinson. I've got 8% in Ball Mania. It's fine. Is Quentin Johnson dust? I've seen him fall super late, so maybe we push him for that stack and maybe get a KLS late if we can pull it off. Otherwise here, are there any Ravens left that I even like? I don't think so. I'll just keep drafting Thornton. And then Thielen is a nice way to make up some ground at wide receiver. Horton's been rising. I could do that. He's a little injured right now, so it's not the most exciting. I think Thielen is still fine. I have a ton of Alec Pierce. He's injured too. Could pull up Adonai Mitchell. It's a little bit early for that. I'll just do Thielen. So I have Lamar Jackson playing Jamar Chase in week 15, playing Diggs in week 16, and then playing Josh Jacobs in week 17. Kind of the thesis for the core of this team. Plus, I've got 2 rookie upside swings, a veteran chaperone, you could call him. Trey Harris stacked up as it is. Stacked Lamar Jackson with Andrews, his favorite touchdown target last season. Evan Ingram to go with Harvey. Betting on the Broncos. Made bets with DJ Moore and Swift on the Bears. Ryan Robinson, maybe he gets traded to the 49ers. Then he plays the Bears week 17. Quinshon Judkins. Could be worse, could be better. We'll find out. Interesting draft, interesting squad so far. Got lucky with the Herbert at 144. Eckler going 165, so that's higher than he'd been going recently. He had fallen a bit to like the 70s, and sometimes then people would let him fall even more. So he's rising up with the trade rumors too. It could be, right, Eddie? It could be, but he's already on the Commanders, which is technically a better offense than the Texans and comparable to the Cowboys, maybe better than the Cowboys. So, but maybe less competition. I don't even know. I mean, with the Cowboys, what's going on there? So I don't think he goes to the Cowboys. Nico at 108, a bad pick. I don't know. I think Nico's pretty good. Half-point PPR. Nico Collins last year before the injury was completely smashing. Still, what was it? I think it was his yards per route run that he was just like one of the top 5, if not the second overall player in the league last season. Huge numbers. I mean, he also had a few, more than 2 touchdowns called back for holding, or maybe it was 2 touchdowns and then just 1 other long play. But I have very memorable how the Texans would have a lot of penalties, the most penalized offensive line. I think they were holding and all these other things. They'd call back a huge Nico play. It's pretty disheartening. But I think it's like a tier of wide receivers you can get in the back half of the first round. So sprinkle in Nico, Neighbors, Amon-Ra. Puka's been the biggest faller out of that group because of the ambiguity of the situation at quarterback with Stafford. So if Puka's going to fall, then it makes sense that Nico gets brought up a little bit more too. Solnas, who do you like there in the back of the first round? Who you been drafting? Are you more of like an Amon-Ra guy, or did you go running back with Achane or Genty there? Derrick Henry. If the missile's there, I got to do it. Same thing with Adonai Mitchell. I think that's what I'll do then. Don't need the QBs. Don't need the tight ends, running backs. It's missile. Or I could do wide receiver. I could take Noel. I'm not going to force it. I like Mitchell a little bit better right now. Tesla is there, but maybe not on this team. Sixth running back. I am going to go Mitchell. I've been drafting a bunch of Mitchell in the last week. I've been drafting them all summer, but like in the last week, I like what I'm hearing about his progress, the coach speak, his big plays he's making in training camp. And then again, like I said earlier, we've got Josh Downs with a hamstring injury, and he might not be ready. It could be hampered all season. And Alec Pierce also has a groin injury, so that's not... There could be an opening there. I think Mitchell's also like a red zone threat, a touchdown waiting to happen kind of guy, hit your lineup spike week. So I'm hopeful that he can take a big step forward in year 2. Be something interesting. I've got these 7 wide receivers now. Could this be a Lambert Smith team? Who just went? Gordon went, and Harold Bannon, Shedeur Sanders. Scroll back down. We can look at the board. Corum and Gordon. Gotcha. That makes sense, Eddie. Isaiah Bond goes in this one. I mean, things you don't always see happening in this draft today. A lot of news, a lot of things going on, a lot of movement on the board, players getting drafted in rounds they've never been drafted in before. Very interesting. Where did Hopkins go? Is Hopkins still available? No, Hopkins went somewhere. Hopkins went 149. Incredible. Yeah, I'm not on Drafters either, but I thought about it this weekend. If I was going to do it, I would have done it this weekend. Didn't have time. Yeah, it's a pretty low percentage. I don't think you're wrong there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So this is like number 115 or so. Getting close to 120. And then going to be hammering them out the rest of these last 2 weeks. Make sure you vote in the poll I have open right now. I'm going to close it after this draft and then review this team. And so make sure you slap that like as well. Do me a favor. And if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. I've got a goal to hit 500 subs by the start of the NFL season. We've got only 2.5 weeks left to go. So help me out. Cost you nothing, but I would greatly appreciate it. And thanks for just being here on a Sunday night, hanging with me. Yo, what up, Pat? My guy. How we doing, Pat? How have your drafts been going this weekend? Crazy things in these drafts. These streets are wild right now. It's hot best ball summer. We're peaking. Okay, do I do the KLS thing on this Herbert team? Do I do it? I've got 6 running backs, so I get the 8th receiver. I think I might do it since it's a rare Herbert team. Stack them up. I already have Trey Harris, but I think I'm gonna do it. This is the one KLS team I'll draft in Best Ball Mania because I got the late value on Herbert, and then I backstacked him with Harrison, Lambert, Smith. Kind of fun, just different. Definitely was going to always be a 2-something-2 build, and I could have taken Kareem Hunt there. Very contingent play. Worked last season, but Giddens is fine there. Hunter would be fine there. I'm going to close the poll. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you vote in the poll. Egbuka, Golden. Who do you like better at value? They've flipped in the last couple weeks with all the news around Godwin's injury. Who's the better rookie wide receiver in 2025? Let me know your thoughts. Vote in that poll. I'm going to close it in 10 seconds, and we'll review this squad. Nice. Yeah, spread it around. Definitely. That's a good way to do it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No doubt. And I did 9 Husky 1s. I still have a few slows going, actually. Didn't want to do slows, but it closed so fast. And then I don't even know how many Husky 2s I did. I think just 5 or so. It closed. It was really slow for a while, and then it kind of closed out of nowhere. So maybe I just lost track of the Husky 2. That's pretty strong. I like that you're able to get those running backs, and still with Sutton, Ridley, and Myers. Yes, I mean, every year we say it, man. Football, the injuries are going to happen, but it feels like it's always worse than it ever has been for the injury fallout, the outcomes. Okay, I'm going to close the poll. $40 people watching, 14 likes. We got to get that number up for sure. So do me a favor, hit that like. And then we close this poll out, so make sure you vote. I'm going to close it in like 5 seconds. We got to get to at least 25 likes. I mean, there's 40 people. We might as well get to 40, but at least 25 likes. Get those numbers up. Okay, 66%. Egbuka. And 33% Golden on 24 votes. So I think that's about, it lines up with ADP. Let's look at this draft here and kind of see how that makes sense. Egbuka in this one goes at 58. That's the earliest I've seen him go, actually. And Golden actually goes at 61. So the earliest I've seen him, the earliest I've practically seen both of them go. You could have gotten Golden anywhere from pick 73 to 80 for most of Best Ball Mania. And you could have gotten Egbuka from anywhere from pick 80 to pick 90 for most of Best Ball Mania. And that's exactly what I did. In Best Ball Mania, my Egbuka shares, I've got 12%, and almost all of it is in the 80 to 90 range. And then Golden, I've got 14%, and almost all in that 70 plus range. So my exposure to both of those players used to be closer to 18 each, and it's really come down because their prices have risen. I think I will chase them up a little bit, but I've already got them at a good price, and so I'm taking different players at those spots these days. $17 likes, 36 watching. Man, can't help your boy out. I think, let's see. Let's review this team, and we'll see how the likes go. If we can get like 25 likes, we can rip another quick one. If not, I might take a break and then jump on with BBG in a minute. This is a 2682 Best Ball Mania. Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert. Feeling good about the QBs. I got Herbert at almost a 20 pick discount, and I pulled up Lamar Jackson because I didn't have him on a Jamar Chase team. Lamar Jackson, so pulled him up there to get that combo. They play each other in Week 15 against the Bengals, and then I got Josh Jacobs. I think it's just a solid pick. He also plays the Ravens in Week 17, so that makes some sense. I got Harvey on this one. I like Harvey a lot. I pulled him up. I didn't have him with Chase. Swift, Brian Robinson Jr. He's a faller. We'll see what happens the next day. I might regret that pick later. I think it's fine for an RB4, getting him at a pick discount. Judkins, risk-reward play. Obviously, we know what's going on there. Keaton, Mitchell, a little bit of a team stack there with Lamar. I got Chase, DJ Moore, Diggs. So the Ravens play Cincinnati in 15, New England in 16, and the Packers in 17. So I've got this Lamar, Keaton, Mitchell, Andrews team playing Chase, Diggs, and then Jacobs. So it's pretty nicely correlated. I like that. But the wide receiver room looks crazy. Chase, DJ Moore, Diggs, and then I kept hitting these wide receiver cliffs from the one spot. It's how you kind of sometimes you get railroaded and you miss tiers of players. So I didn't want to keep reaching up. I waited. I got Trey Harris backstacked with the falling Herbert. I got Dante Thornton. Mix him in. Why not? Adam Thielen, maybe to chaperone these two rookies. Adonai Mitchell, I think, is a good pick in this range. And then Lambert Smith, probably the only time I'll draft him in Best Ball Mania. This one team. Mark Andrews, Evan Ingram. I think it's fun. It's a fun team. Could be good. We'll find out. Yeah, what's up, Juan? I appreciate that. My favorite one so far? It's hard to say. I have a Best Ball Mania team with, I think it has Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Joe Burrow at pick 72. I would have to look. I think I posted it on Twitter at some point. I think I at least posted the start of that team on Twitter. That's one of my favorites that comes to mind. I've done a bunch all during like June. I was doing a bunch of CeeDee Lamb teams with Dak, and a lot of those had Pickens stacked in there as well. So I like a lot of those teams, but I don't have like a one favorite yet. But that would be something fun to do, is like go through and look at my favorite teams. I've graded a bunch of these. I've done 90% of them, not 90%. I've done more than 70%, 75% of them on stream. So they're all in this library, like all live. I've got a playlist of all my live drafts from the summer. I've done them all there. I usually review the team afterwards and give it, like, what I'll do is and I didn't do it this time, but maybe I'll just go ahead and do it again. Like, I'll say, okay, QB room, 1 to 5 stars. I mean, I've got Lamar Jackson. I got a falling Herbert. For a 2 QB build, that's 4.5 stars. Hard to get 5, but Jacobs, Harvey, Swift, B-Rob, Judkins, Keaton, Mitchell. It's like a solid 3.5. Chase, DJ Moore, Diggs, and then a bunch of guys with upside. Probably like a 3 because I have Chase at least. And then the tight ends, Andrews, Ingram. It's not elite, but it's pretty close. Solid 4. So this team, maybe it's like a close to a 4-star team. You got to be 2 out of 12 to advance. So maybe it's not good enough because you want to be like the tops. But I think it's not dead. It's definitely going to compete. There's some teams in this pod who I think are just dead. Very interesting approach from the 5 spot to go Saquon, Taylor, Kyron, and Hall, followed by Burrow, Mahomes, Purdy, and then take Godwin as your first receiver when he's almost certainly going to be on the pup and miss some games, it seems like. So then it's Kupp, Kirk, Keenan Allen, Palmer, Hopkins, and the tight ends waited that long. It took 4 with Smith, Henry, threw in a late Pierce, Otten, Freiermuth. I mean, if this 3-4, 7-4 team advances from the pod, I would not be shocked or surprised because it's so unconventional, but the QB floor and ceiling scoring should be really nice. Same thing with running back. Then you're hitting the flex with a running back most of the time. Receiver is pretty weak, but a lot of veterans in here that could just be enough. And then the 4 tight end gives you a really high floor at tight end as well. So really strange team from the 5 spot. Very unorthodox, but sometimes it's one of those kind of things that can get you a really, really unique kind of outcome. But we'll find out. This is one to watch. That's a pretty funny team. Also, things we like to clock here, like where did Egbuka go? Where did Golden go? And then the man of the hour, Bill, a.k.a. Little Bill, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. He went, what was it, 134 here. That's the highest I've seen him go in one of my drafts live. I saw him go at pick 150 in the draft before this. So, wild. We might just wake up and find out that Brian Robinson's traded to like the Texans or apparently the 49ers or who knows where. And then we see Krosky Merritt flying up the board. Top 100 pick easily. I mean, I don't know if I'll be doing it, but he'll be there. Eckler too. Eckler goes 165. He's starting to rise a little bit. Go to bestballoverlay.com. We can see the players have been rising. And maybe it's Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt tomorrow. Could be for sure, right? I'd have to go back and look. I kind of draft and move on, so I'd have to really go back and look. But I've had some teams that I really like. Teams that come to mind. Bindles and I drafted a team on a Ballsy show on a Monday night back in June with Danny from the Fantasy Stock Exchange. I really liked. We actually did 3 teams that night, but I really liked the first team we did there. It was a double stacked Dak with Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. I remember liking the team I did with Pat when he came on, Fantasy Dog Pound. I liked that Best Ball Mania team a lot with him. He and I and Bindles did. I've done some teams with Hartman that are pretty sick. I've done some teams with Steve that are really nice. Pretty much every guest that I've had on is giving me like a different flavor to the drafts. You know, getting me off of some of my go-tos and getting different and some different exposures to players. I remember it was Meg had me taking Ricky Pearsall before, way earlier in the summer, back in, I think it was June, before I was back, I think it was actually May, before I was back in on Ricky Pearsall. We took Pearsall at like pick 70, what would that be? It might have been pick 83. It probably was just pick 62 or something. It felt like we took him early at the time, but now it's a totally fine pick, and it was definitely different from my exposures then. So, yeah, but particularly I don't have like a team framed that I've printed out and am like thinking about constantly. What about you, Eddie? That's what I was thinking, Juan. It does seem like a good year for that. It really does. And Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt is who people are assuming that it could be that guy right now. I don't love Woody Marks, but he kind of could be interesting. Gordon, if Achane keeps being hurt. I like Jarquez Hunter. I've drafted a bunch of him. Could be him. Yo, what up, Kenny? Yes, sir. Hey, this is the second Best Ball Mania that I've done, and then I'm going to hop on with BBG pretty soon here. Draft some teams with him. He's doing his 12-hour marathon. He's wrapping that up. So Best Ball Guy, he is live. You can search YouTube Best Ball Guy if you're not already subbed to him. He's celebrating hitting 2,000 YouTube subs, and he's done a 12-hour live stream that it will be concluding in the next hour and a half. So I'm going to be joining him shortly on that. Speaking of Sharpman, there he is. Oh, and Nico CMC, I love that. I'd have to go back and look at my early CMC teams because I was taking him a good amount in the back end of the first round, but Not as much as I should have been taking him, obviously. That's a fun start. There we go. Eddie's been ripping drafts. It's a fun one. $32 watching, still only 20 likes. I think I'm going to cap it there, though. We did 2 best ball manias. I'm going to be hopping on with BBG in just a minute. I'm going to take a quick break, but we did it. We drafted some teams tonight. We had fun. We found out that the chat does prefer Egbuka over Golden, and we've been seeing some wild things with Ja'Cory Kroski Merritt, so more to come on that front. We'll find out in pretty shortly. We'll find out in like the next day or two. I think it'll happen soon, maybe tomorrow when we wake up, if Brian Robinson gets traded and where he goes, and then what happens with the Commanders players shooting up the board. So fun stuff. It's August. We're here. It's peak best ball drafting season. It's peak drafting season. And we'll be doing it more. We got a big show tomorrow on BINDLES channel for BALLSY. It's going to be 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. We have Ben Gretsch from Stealing Signals and Stealing Bananas coming on to draft a best ball team with you boys, BINDLES and I. So make sure you go to the linked socials here for BINDLES in the description. Subscribe to his channel as well. We'll be there tomorrow night drafting with Ben, having a good time, talking ball, and I'm excited for it. So I'll see y'all shortly. I'm going to be jumping on with BBG in a few minutes, and I'll catch y'all tomorrow night for the BALLSY show on BINDLES channel. Appreciate y'all coming out. Get in the circle, subscribe to the channel, slap that like, and then leave me a comment here if you're still around when the stream ends. Comment and let me know who your breakout wide receiver rookie is, whether it's Egbuka, Golden, McMillan, Lambert Smith. Comment below. Let me know. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.